Patchwork of laughter sewn in time, a spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square, buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses line so neat, friendships quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time, a spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square, buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses line so neat, friendships quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time, a spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Our life. Stitch by stitch they weave the tale, a patchwork life where laughs prevail. Patterns clash, but who can tell? Quilted chaos suits us well. Stephen and Walter live on air, threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings, life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound, sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around, it's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air, threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings, life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound, sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around, it's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air, threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings, life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound, sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around, it's a show where joy is bound. Pins and needles, jokes abound, sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
And welcome. I see everybody's coming in real quick. I guess everybody remembered that, well, not everybody has a time change, but we had a time change because it's fall, so we have gone back an hour. So I guess that would mean that if anybody tries to come on here without knowing that we had a time change, they're going to be late by an hour. So, but anyways, good to see everybody here. Okay, turn that down. So, all right, so let us see who is with us. Of course, we have our #1 fan at the very top. we have Russ of Quilt Meets World, who says, good morning to me, good morning to Walter, good morning to Chat, and this extra hour of sleep was slightly refreshing. They really ought to get rid of it, though. It's just too confusing. We don't need it anymore. And every time it comes up to a time change, well, twice a year, once in the fall, once in the spring, somebody talks about getting rid of it, but our government, for some reason, I don't know. And I guess it has to be done by provinces or something, because I know that, I'm not sure, is it Saskatchewan or Manitoba? One of those ones, they don't change it.
No.
So.
And I think the excuse has been lately, they don't want to change it for
trade purposes. With New York.
With New York, yeah.
Like,
and also Quebec.
Oh, well, with Quebec, they don't. Who cares? Quebec has always got to be special some way, really. You'll only get that if you're Canadian. If you're not a Canadian, you won't understand what we mean by Quebec being special. They're kind of our special needs child, okay, in this country. So, who else is here? Nina is here. Barb is here. Jen from Perth is here. Julie is here. Caroline is here. Long time no see, Caroline. You'll understand in a minute. Where did I leave off? Charlotte is here, and Karen B is here. And wait, I'm noticing something. People's names are actually coming up. Well,
no,
not with
they're still at...
No, I guess that's what we had when.
Yeah, we're just getting used to it.
Yeah, I guess we're getting used to it. Yeah. All right. Okay. Candace, I said, is here. Joan Reed is here. Jeannie, which is Jeannie. Okay. Suzanne is here. Phyllis is here. Bonnie's here. Mona. She's only 2 hours difference now that we had to play with your clocks. Oh, yeah. Philip is here. Cynthia. Everyone, the Dodgers won. Yay, getting ready for Thanksgiving. Now decorated. Okay, yeah. We're going to talk about that. We have a theory.
We're disappointed.
Not that we were following it.
No.
We're disappointed because it was sort of disrupting our theory. We'll talk about the theory in a bit. Let's see. Who else is here? Dubrovka is here, and probably Al as well. We are here from Cool Timmins. Yeah, you guys are probably frosty. It was 0 when I got up this morning here, Celsius, but it's now gone to 10. So it's actually, we went out for our walk, and it was quite pleasant, I thought. Did you think it was pleasant?
Yes, it was nice. It was nice when I was raking leaves, too.
Oh, how nice that Walter was out raking leaves, because, God forbid if they stay on the lawn too long.
It just means that I have more leaves to rake up in the next couple of days.
Whatever, I don't do leaves. Barbara's here, as I said. Sue is here. She says, how was the quilt show? We will talk about that today, too. We are going to talk about a whole lot of mishmash things here today, because there's who knows where we'll go. But then, is that anything unusual with us? Mary Jane is here. Faith is here. Sherry's here. Judy is here. Phyllis. I said hi to Phyllis. I don't know. Queensland in Australia doesn't have daylight savings. Yeah, we knew that. And we don't need it either. Gloria is here. Heather is here. Denise is here. Pacey, 4:30.
That must be Pace.
That might be yeah, it's probably Pace. With it. Okay. So I'm sure there'll be a few more joining us as well. But yeah, we had the time change. We fell back 1 hour last night. Technically, it changes at 2 in the morning on the Saturday night, but whatever. This nice thing now is, back in the day when clocks changed, you had to run around through your house and change all the clocks. But now that our computers and everything else automatically just update themselves. And I use my iPhone, and so does Walter, as our night clocks. We have a stand that when you turn them on their side, you have the time, and then it fades out and comes out again if there's motion or whatever in front of it, and don't have to worry about setting it. The only thing I had to set 3 things. I had to set the 2 microwave. Oh no, 4 things. The 2 microwaves and the clock on the stove, and I have a analog clock down here that I had to adjust as well. So yeah, modern technology, wonderful thing. Let's see, Shadow Wind, who is Alice, is here. Shadow Wind. That sounds very mysterious. Shadow Wind. Arda is here from San Diego. And Heather says, I picked up When Stars Collide from the Long Armor today. Oh, great, Heather. You'll have to send a picture of it, and I can feature it here on one of my episodes of the Idiot Quilter. Okay. So, speaking of quilts and things, yeah, all right. I'm getting there with Stormy Sea. As you can see in this picture up here, Stormy Sea, those are all the pieces for Stormy Sea done. Now it's just the assembly, getting them all together in their order, and then it'll be ready to put on Lucy. I hope it fits on Lucy. Of course, Walter will go, I told you should have got a
bigger table.
Oh, I've heard that song and dance so many times. Yeah.
Well, you can always go over to Tracy's and rent time from her.
I can do that. I think it'll fit. I think but it's just going to it'll leave me just enough on the edges to have enough overhang, but we'll worry about that when we get there. I have to get it together first. So that's what I've been up to. And have you made anything this week? No, you were busy raking leaves because
our tree, we have a big maple tree in the front, and it's shedding its leaves. And I don't want to leave it right to the end because it's a huge task to rake them all up. And if I do them in pieces, then it's not so bad.
Bits and
However,
pieces.
I just did our front lawn. I could have probably done our neighbors too. They happen to be away this week.
Yeah, that's convenient, isn't it? All the leaves fall and they're away.
They told me not to, but I'll probably do some anyway.
Well, I'll keep shot off the streets. Well, then there's a neighbor next door to them who's a widow, an older lady. I'm not sure how old Kathy is. I don't think she's much older than us.
I don't think she's much older than us.
In fact, we might be older than her.
She's not aging well.
Well, she's struggling out there raking up her own leaves, so.
I'm in a light sweater, and she's out there in a complete winter coat with the hood and everything.
Okay, well, frosty. Well, maybe she's one of those people that's, the cold gets to her quickly. A few people have come in. We've got, I think did I say hi to Charlotte before? I think I did, but she says, I still have to set my coffee maker and a wall clock. Oh, yeah. And Melissa's here. Hi, Melissa. And Charlotte says, your Stormy Sea is going to be amazing. Well, I hope so. I've spent enough time on the bloody thing. Yeah. And I'm pretty much getting done with it. So pressing on. Jeannie Moosley is here. Hi, Jeannie. And yeah, so that's what we've been up to. So announcements and other things to start with. Sewing with me. Wednesdays as usual. Now this Wednesday is going to be a little different. I'm going to start you off, but Sue Norfleet has graciously, who's a regular, of course, every Wednesday, and I usually make her co-host too. She's going to take over because Walter and I are going off to the doctors to have our flu shots done, and Walter made the appointment for 1:15 on
without realizing it was a
Wednesday. Well, of course, it didn't matter because she's doing a clinic kind of a thing.
Actually, it's not 1:15, it's 1.
Mine's 1:15 because I got a notice.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did. But I'm sure we'll both go in at the
Yeah.
same time. She just shoots us both up, and that's it. And I guess when I'm there, I'm going to ask her for a requisition to have blood work done because I haven't had blood work in a while, and that'll make her really happy. She just gets so excited by that. And can you get your blood work done there at that clinic at that
I
place?
think you can, yeah.
Because I'm thinking, well, if she gives me the piece of paper when we're there, I might as well, while we're there, may have to wait a bit.
You might have to wait a bit. Why don't you just take the piece of paper and then I'll take you over to Dynacare later.
I mean, we can pop in and see how big a line is.
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah, true.
Really.
Depends on whether she wants you to fast or not.
Oh, didn't think about that. Well, she doesn't usually.
Yeah.
Usually she doesn't. Well, we'll see. Whatever. Yeah, I forgot about that, but I don't usually have to fast. I usually do, but okay. So
Actually, if
anyways,
you want a requisition for blood, maybe you should phone the office and ask them about it, that you're coming in, because then they have time to prepare it,
oh,
because she's just doing shots.
yeah, that's true. Um, yeah, I mean, that's a good idea. Well, I'll give him a call tomorrow then and get that out of the way. Betty Kennedy, Kenny, why can't I talk?
Kenny.
Betty's here. Everybody knows Betty. Betty's here. Hi Betty. So yeah, so that's something to look forward to. Our annual. It is the season for the flu shot. We've had the COVID shot, so now we need the flu shot. Shit. The flu shit. Okay, we'll have some of that too. I'm not doing well, and this is only my first one. Okay, I just have you know. Betty says, I wish we didn't have to change the time. Yeah, that's what we were saying too earlier as well.
Yeah, it's getting to the point nowadays that it's just
annoying.
Very annoying.
I think we should have just one great big huge time zone. Well, too bad if some of you have to be in the dark. I don't know. Yeah, time zones are a bitch. So Chatty this week, we talked about, is it really cheaper to sew it yourself? You know, yeah, and I'm sure most of you out there know people who are not sewists or quilters, and they see something you've made and go, "Oh, I love that. Can you make me one?" And if you're smart, you say no.
If you're smart, you say no. I can't hem pants either.
yeah, because you know, and what they're really asking is, will you make this for me for nothing? Is the way I look at it. You know, they don't understand the cost in fabric and the cost in time and everything that you put into it. So that's why we decided to do a little comparison with what you can get and why you might want to sew something yourself. I mean, we said in there, the bottom line is, if you're looking for something that's inexpensive and it's not too special, then you're probably better off to buy it. But if you're looking for something unique, one of a kind, or trying to fit it, you know, so it's a good fit for you, then you might want to sew it.
Yeah, like I'm not too sure why people would sew underwear, but anyway.
Well, maybe they like doing that kind of thing, or maybe some people have a fetish. I don't know. Like guys like to wear frilly underwear and can't get it in their size. I don't know. Although, no, I'm not going to say that. I'll get into trouble. I'll just think it, and you can guess what I'm thinking. Let's see. Melissa says, we need you two to be healthy. True. We need to be healthy. But Caroline and her husband have got this down pat. We learned a lot. Okay, let's back up. We went to a quilt show in a place called, it's Willenbury with a G in front of it. And I can't say it.
Willenbury.
Anyways, it was we'll talk more about the quilt show in a minute. But Caroline and her husband Craig, they live in a little place called Sutton, which is very near there. So Caroline, when she heard that we were going to that, graciously invited us to their place for, you know, to meet up, talk, and have some coffee and cake and that kind of thing. And I learned a lot about seed oils and making your own white stuff and like basically healthy eating. And it was very much, and pardon the pun, food for thought. So yeah, I mean, that was quite the conversation. It certainly opened my eyes up to a lot of things, and I may have to pursue some of these things a little bit further and figure out, you know, is this going to be right for me or whatever. I don't care what was right for Walter or not. Who cares? Whatever. He's already like, can't eat anything. I'm surprised you didn't bitch about the pancakes this morning. Of course, they were made with your special mix that, you know, basically sawdust, but whatever. But yeah. So yeah, we had a very nice time over at Caroline's and Craig's, and we saw their cats. Well, one. The other one decided it wanted to stay under the bed. But oh my God, Caroline, that one cat of yours, when it walks around the house, you hear it coming. That is a big pussy. That is like, holy crap, it could feed at least 12. I mean, and it did rub up against me when we were sitting at the table at one point. It's a beautiful cat, but holy crap, I don't think I've seen anything that big. My sister's cat
Your sister's cat was bigger.
well, Socks was, but Socks looked like basically like a stuffed little pig. It just laid around the house. It was
Your sister's cat was huge.
it was a big pussy too. But I always like to see the kitties. Even if they're big kitties. Big kitties are, ooh, that's a, I bet you when that cat jumps up on the bed. I didn't ask Caroline that if her cat could actually jump up. That's a lot for it to go. It didn't, or maybe if it gets into the bed, you don't. It'd be like sleeping with a golden retriever. But anyways, that was nice. So we had a nice time there, and her husband's got, one of his hobbies is, doing virtual racing. Oh my God, I have never seen equipment like that. It's amazing what he's got for a setup. I mean, I don't play simulations or virtual things or whatever. I just want his bloody monitors.
You like his toys.
I loved his toys. Yeah.
And he's got a really nice workshop, too.
Yeah, he's got a really nice workshop as well. Now, I was trying to get him into 3D printing, but...
And Carolyn has a nice sewing room.
Yes, she does.
I think it's the cleanest room I've ever seen.
I have never seen a sewing room so well organized. Her fabrics, they're perfect across the room. Like if mine looked like that, I wouldn't touch them ever again because I'd be afraid to. But yeah, it was very nice to see them, and we spent a couple of hours with them, and it was great. So thank you, Caroline.
Caroline says the cats sleep in the bed and they sleep on the floor.
Yeah, I kind of thought that might be the way. Yeah, it's a big pussy. So has anybody else come in while we were talking? No, Betty says, I think it's going to be beautiful when you finish it. Yeah, I think it will be too. But anyways, yeah, so we had a nice time with Caroline. And actually the area she lives in, it's only roughly an hour to the north of us, but it's on a lake. And whoa, we took a little drive. We were a little early, so we took a little drive along the lake shore, and there's these houses. And holy crap, these people have some money up there that live on the shores of that. They are big places. And I said to Walter, oh, there's one for sale. Let's buy it. got a couple mil? Couple,
a lot more than a couple
mil.
million.
It was more than a couple mil, yeah. So anyways, that's what we did. So, as I said, we went up there to go to a quilt show by the local guild. It was a nice show. You're going to get a chance to see it. I'll put it all together. That'll be on So Chatty this coming Friday. The people that were there, the guild members, all were very friendly and nice. One lady does these dolls, and they were fantastic.
Yeah, it wasn't just quilts. It was also fiber arts and that too. So it was very interesting.
Yeah, beautiful work. The one thing they didn't have, which was a little bit of a disappointment, but because the area is kind of small, I can understand why. They didn't have any vendors. They were selling some things that guild members had made, to make money for their guild. They had a silent auction. They had these big, huge baskets full of all kinds of goodies on it. We didn't bid on anything because we weren't.
Well, we're not really local.
No,
if we had won something, we'd have to take another hour drive to get to it.
Yeah.
Get it.
Well, you make it sound like that's a chore.
Well, it isn't
really.
But
not. But anyways, so yeah, it was a good show. It was in a church, and when we first went in, we went to a room where they had the quilts, and I'm thinking, okay, this is small. There's not that many quilts. And then we started walking down the hall because they had them all down the hallways of this church. We walked into the sanctuary, and they had them all kinds of quilts draped over the pews and everything. It was kind of an interesting setting. The only thing I found with that was you didn't really get Well, it wasn't bad. They weren't folded up so small that you couldn't see them. But
yeah, I know you couldn't really see because they were draped over the pews. You didn't really get a good chance to see them
in their
in
entirety.
their entirety. Yeah,
yeah. But it was still kind of a nice venue for it. Very modern church. It's a United Church, and it was kind of interesting.
And they actually had inside the sanctuary on the behind the altar a couple of banners that were quilted, and that looked like they were permanent fixtures of the church. And
yeah, they had peace stubs on them.
It maybe some of the people that belong to that
church are in the guild.
Yeah,
yeah, maybe because they were nice too. So yeah, it was very nice. But you'll see all of this come Friday. Joan says, "Gotta go. Catch the rest on a replay. Have a great week." Okay, Joan. Bye-bye. Okay, so what else has been happening this week? Well, Walter bought new outdoor lights. Why?
Because I wanted them. Well, which ones? The ones that screw in ones?
Well, I'm thinking about the ones you're going to put on the garage.
Yeah, well, I haven't gotten them yet.
Well, what were the ones
I only have one.
Oh.
I had to order 2 more. I only bought one because I wanted to see what it looked like.
Oh, where's it going? On the step?
Oh, I bought one because I didn't want to have to send them all back because I bought them through Amazon.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So I bought one to see what it looked like.
Yeah, I got that.
If I liked it, then I would keep it and order 2 more.
Okay, right? I got that.
For the 3 outdoor lights at the front, right? Now, if I didn't like it, I would have put it in the back where we don't.
Okay, I get all of that. So did you buy 1 more or 2 more?
2 more.
Okay, so the one that you have right now, I'm assuming you were going to hook up to the outdoor light by the step, not on the garage or whatever.
Yeah, there's one. We have 3 at the front.
I know. I see 1 light. You brought 1 light. Okay.
I haven't hooked it up yet because
I know
I
you
wanted
haven't.
to wait for the other 2 to come so
I was asking
I can do all 3 at once.
All
right?
I was asking is, where is that 1 light going to go? But now, before you answer, I understand your confusion because you're buying 3 in total. You have 1. You've got 2 more coming. So 1 will go on the step and 2 will go on the garage where the other 2 lights are. So I've got it. So never mind. You don't have to explain it any further.
Oh, jeez.
God.
It's a bad when you're old men, right?
Well, I didn't have any problem understanding.
Well, I didn't have any problem understanding. I knew what I was doing.
It was like you yesterday trying to explain to Craig the 2-head 3D printer.
Yeah, well, I don't know. You know all the technical stuff about those 3D printers.
Yeah, so I should have been telling him. But
you had your mouth shut.
Because yours was open and I couldn't get a word in edgewise. Thank you very much. Like, good God. Anyways, yeah, Walter bought new outdoor lights. Now, when I was on my walk a couple of times this morning, or not this morning, but this week, and of course it's dark when I go out because I usually go out at about 6:30. I noticed this one house, and I'm trying to explain it to Walter, and again, it's very difficult to explain anything to him anymore without a diagram. I said I saw this unique looking outdoor light set, and I said it made like a diamond, casted kind of a diamond shadowy light on the front of the garage doors. Yeah, I could not explain that to him. Well, what? They're coming? I don't know. So the next time I went by, I took a picture of it and showed it to him because I thought that was kind of neat. It's just the way the openings were on the edges of the lights and the way the light shines through, but it made this nice little diamond across their garage door, and it just kind of looked, I thought, kind of cool. But it was taking me weeks to explain to him what this looked like. You know?
I don't know. It's interesting to see. I looked at them last night when I was going for a walk, and it's interesting, but I didn't get those lights.
No, I know you didn't get those lights. But, I mean, I just thought that was, that's kind of cool. And I wondered if they had purposely bought those because they knew that it was going to do that, or if that was just a serendipitous kind of thing that just happened.
I think it just happened.
Well, I don't know. Did you go up to their door and ask them?
I don't know.
Well, I want you to. Next walk tonight, when you're out in your late night walk, you go, no, you won't be going tonight. We went out today earlier. I want you to knock on their door and say, hi, tell me about your lights. Then the next thing I'll know is the cops have carried you away. The Inappropriate says, no domestics in the live stream, guys. Oh, you guys live for the domestics. You really do. Denise says she needs a drink. Okay. Dana's here. Hi, Dana. Just catching up here. Betty says, when someone asks me to make them something and I can tell them to get the material and I will do it, but they never seem to get the material. Yeah, that's a good ploy. That one works too. Well, yeah, you just get the material that you need for this and the whole bet and the pattern and the thread and the, if it's going to be shirt, of buttons, and yeah, and buy me a new sewing machine while you're at it.
The only problem is with that then is if they do get the material and they don't get kind that you like, they're so like to get something that's hard to sew.
Or something cheap.
Yeah.
You know, they don't know. Yeah. Elizabeth is here and she says, I just sat here and giggled so hard I could hardly contain myself. Did you pee a little? I know that for some people at a certain age, when you laugh, it can be somewhat moist with it.
Remember, we knew somebody a long time ago that said Garrett got somebody would sew him garment.
Oh,
and he said, "Oh well, he was always upset because they bought the most expensive fabric."
Oh, yeah.
I have a feeling it was just regular fabric, and they just assumed it was expensive.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's how it works. Anyways, I just tell them anytime they see our shirts and they go, "Ooh, where'd you get your shirts?" And I go, "He makes them." Oh, and then they always say, "Does he have a store?" No. And then Walter says, "I don't make them for anybody else except for us," kind of a thing. And I says, and besides, you can't afford him. And then some look at, oh, why? And I says, these shirts are worth $300. These would be $300 a piece. And they go, yeah, they're not $20 shirts. Okay. But they don't believe you when you tell them that. And that we talked about that on So Chatty this week too. And I think many of you you know what we're talking about on that. So moving on. Okay, water bills. Let's talk about water bills. So we got our water bill first of last week, and wow, it's our highest water bill ever in 30 years, our highest one. It was a little over $300. And I mean, maybe for some people in some places that isn't high, but that's high for, we usually average about $220 in about that over a 3-month period, because our bill comes out every third month or so. And I said to Walter, wow, that's high. I don't know if their rates went up. Well, their rates probably have gone up because they, you know.
And we did have a toilet run overnight one night.
That's true too. But he blames it on the shower because we bought a new head for the shower. And before we had a water saver head on it. And the new head we got, we didn't get a water saver one. So
which is nice. But
yeah. So Walter bought something. What did you buy?
I bought a shut-off valve on it so that I can partially shut it off. So
okay, so you get that installed.
Yeah.
Put that on. We'll see if that makes any kind of difference. You know, of course, the other difference might be if you just cut down on the amount of time in the shower.
Yeah. Well, I also push in the. I don't make the water go out in full force either.
As if that makes any difference.
Yes, it does. It cuts down on the amount of water you use.
Yeah, well, if you're in there for 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, I do like my showers.
Yeah, well, you got any skin left? I mean, really, like, you don't need to be in there for 20 minutes. I mean, what are you doing in there for 20 minutes? I know. What? You have to wash your hair?
Twice.
Twice. Oh, rinse and repeat. Okay. Okay, what's Inappropriate says, if I don't want to make or sew something for someone, I just say no. Probably the best policy. Yeah, just say no. I don't have any problem saying no to people, so yeah. Of course, they don't ask me to make something, they ask him. Yeah, so anyways, we'll see if that makes a difference on the water bill. I hope it does. Because, I mean, our hydro has gone up in the last year as well. We're actually in the hole. We're on equal billing on hydro, so it's always the same every month. But then there'll be one point in the year where they do a reassessment, and every time it goes up. And right now, we owe them about a couple $100. because they always underestimate how much. And I tried one time phoning up and said, well, look, I want you to readjust my monthly payments because you've underestimated. And so, no, they won't do that. Oh, we can't do that. Why? We can't. Idiots. Probably it's something that's got an algorithm in a computer system or something, and they, not clever enough to know how to override that. But, such is life. Everything is expensive these days. And we know part of the reason why. Okay, so I talked about Halloween. So everybody survive Halloween? Did you get many kids? I didn't think we were going to get any. Our first kids didn't come until after 7 o'clock. And in total, I think we only had maybe at the most 15 kids.
Yeah, it used to be
More
that
candy
you
for me.
would get some right at 6 o'clock
Yeah.
when it was just beginning to get dark.
Now, mind you, the weather wasn't the nicest. I mean, it was not really raining, but it was cold.
It was
and
cold and
moist
miserable.
and miserable. And then, of course, the baseball game was on at 8 o'clock. So who knows? Parents are saying, oh, yeah, kid, we're not going out. Here's a bag of candy. Sit in a corner. We got to watch the baseball game. So I don't know. But I had made, okay, this was a little extreme. And when am I not? But I decided this year, along with the candy, I was going to give everybody a little toy. A 3D printed toy. So I printed 300. Now, I knew we would not have 300 kids. But you just get on a roll kind of a thing. And I made 3 different types. Articulated octopus and an articulated little, I'm not sure what it is, chameleon maybe or something, and some other thing. And so when they came to the door, I said to them, okay, here's your candy. And I said, you want a toy? I've got a toy. Oh, yeah, they wanted a toy. I had one kid, she was just little. I think it might have been her first Halloween, but she certainly didn't know about, one to a customer. She had her hands buried up to the elbows in the big thing I had of candy and the toys. Other ones were, oh, my friend hurt her leg and can't come out tonight. Can I have one for her?
Yeah, I got one of those too.
They learn at a really early age how to be manipulative, don't these little
yeah.
girls? Yeah, okay. Carries on with them for the rest of their life. I know sex is too bad. So I said, sure, you can have a couple of them. I got lots. So I dumped a whole bunch in her little bag so with it. But yeah, it was kind of disappointing. That's all we had this year. So
yeah, we don't usually get very many anyway.
No.
But
and there was no stroller meat.
No.
That was disappointing. You probably don't know what I mean by stroller meat. Stroller meats are the daddies who come out with the little kids who, hi there, would you like a trick or a treat? But we didn't have any stroller meat this year, so I don't know. There was some of them dressed up too, as they often do, and the adults, the parents. So yeah. What can you say? At least now we never had anybody come to the door with an infant in their arms.
They had some little teeny kids. So.
There were some little, one little guy, he was, I think, the first one we got. He couldn't get up our steps. We only have 2 steps, but, up the front, they were kind of tall for him. I think the steps came up to his waist. So there he was trying to get up there. I was afraid he was going to fall over and crack his head open, but he made it up there, and then he looked at you and the mother's standing there. Okay, say trick or treat. So, yeah, I'm done with you now, kid. Here, have a candy. Bye-bye. And this year, the fun size chocolate bars did not disappoint in their size. The Snickers. The Snickers look like if you opened up a box of chocolates, they were the size of one of those chocolates that you'd find in a box of those. It's going to get to the point where you just give them a crumb.
They'll give you a wrapper.
Really. I did go through the candy, though, before I gave it out. We got the big box at Costco that had Twix, Snickers, Mars bars, and peanut M&Ms. Well, peanut allergies, so I took all the peanut M&Ms out and put them in a separate bowl, and they're mine because I love them and I don't have an allergy. Mind you, the Mars bars were the only ones that didn't have, because they came in a separate bag
Mars
in the
bars
box.
and Twix, I don't think have any anything.
But the Twix were not. The Mars bars were the only ones that came in this big box, but they were in a separate bag.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what that was all about. Like, were they trying to separate those because they didn't have peanuts, or they did have peanuts? But Mars bars don't have peanuts. Snickers do.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care. I didn't care whether the kid had an allergy or not.
They can figure that out.
They can figure it out at home. Yeah. That's the parents' job. Backing up here. Oh, Diana's back. Back in Bermuda. So, Diana, were you okay as far as the hurricane that went through? Let's see. I just have here and I Googled. Elizabeth. Inappropriate says, here they overestimate, never want to refund the overpayment. Sometimes it's several £100s. Oh, they will. Actually, they don't refund it in cash if it actually never happens. But if they have overestimated, when they estimate it again for the following year, they lower the estimation to absorb that amount that they owe to you. So you never get like cash back from it, of course. 3D printing is very addictive. Yeah, you don't have to tell me. The local Cynthia says, hi Cynthia, the local grammar school has their party and parade. See, I think that's the way to do it. I really do. Screw this going from door to door. You know, somebody in the community or a bunch of parents get together, go into a local hall, school or something, and have a little party for the kids, and they can all wear their costumes, and they can have safe treats there and everything. And I think, and parents can socialize or whatever. I think that would be a lot more fun, really.
We have a lot of townhouses around our subdivision,
Yeah.
so, and the townhouses have the frontages aren't as wide, so they can get more.
They get more bang for their buck.
Yeah, they don't have to travel as far
Yeah.
to get from house to house.
Yeah, the kids have that figured out.
Whereas on our street, not that we have huge lots or anything, but it takes a little bit.
Takes a
more
little
effort.
longer because, you know, they have to walk on the sidewalk and get to the next place. A little someone cut across your lawn. But Charlotte says we had quite a few more trick-or-treaters than in the past. Seems that a lot of young families have bought houses in our neighborhood recently. Okay, here's something. Maybe somebody can tell me. In our neighborhood, we have it's a growing number of East Indian people buying into our neighborhood. They just celebrated Diwali here about 2 weeks ago, and I didn't see a lot of East Indian children coming to the door. And I'm wondering if they don't really do Halloween, if it's something.
I don't know.
I have no idea. Or maybe they get a lot of candy in Diwali or something and figure, hey, got enough. Don't need any more. Yes, Scott, that is very true. Sue says we had beautiful weather and only 3 trick-or-treaters, but the neighborhood a couple of miles away had a festival with live music. Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, I really think they should just do away with Halloween. Like, why do we do Halloween? We're giving these kids crap. And we all know that this form of Halloween was invented by candy companies, basically. You know, like they can sell their candy in other ways. Denise says Mars always comes separately as they are made in a nut-free factory. Oh, that's why. So they don't want to contaminate them. Diana says, yeah, my place was fine, although 19,000 plus customers lost electricity. Well, I'm glad you were okay. Oh, and Zaza is here. Is Zaza the inappropriate quilter? Zaza, are you the inappropriate quilter? I can never remember. Because I didn't see you come up on the other one, and I have a feeling you are. This is hard with this new @ format here to remember everybody. Okay, so that was Halloween. So I guess now it's November. I took down the Halloween decorations today. And at the end of the month, I'll get Christmas put up. But that'll go pretty fast. And I guess now for Americans, they're looking forward to Thanksgiving. And I know that Thanksgiving seems to be even bigger holiday in the United States than Christmas itself is. I asked a few people about that at one point in time on one of the so days, and they said, yeah, it Thanksgiving seems to be more important than Christmas. So interesting.
Yeah, appropriate Quilter is that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought it was, but it'll take me. I'll probably ask that question again next week. Because that's how long my memory lasts, not. Okay, so we talked about the quilt show, and we'll show you all that on So Chatty on Friday. All right, so here's our theory about the World Series. Okay, first of all, I always love the term World Series. What world? It's American, with one Canadian team in it. Kind of a thing.
Is Montreal still playing?
No, Expos died out. In fact, they died out about 20 years ago or something. There was a YouTube video about that. I didn't watch it, but why the Expos died. So there you got two countries, hardly the world. Okay, although I know the Americans believe they are the world. They had a song about that. But we don't follow it. Okay, but then when it's the Jays, and and they keep
playoffs
and playing off like that, we did kind of listen to what the results were in that. But there seemed to be a formula. There's been so much hype about this World Series in Toronto. The fans have been going nuts. The ticket sales have been out of the roof for price for the playoffs, like thousands of dollars for a decent seat, because all the scalpers buy up all the tickets, and if you want one, you're going to have to pay like $2,500 for the cheap seats, and up to, they were even listing them at $12,000 for, probably right down on, I don't know what you call it, the baseline, or I'm not sure what the good seats are. But anyways, we were watching how they hype it up. Had 7 games in the final.
Yeah, actually,
place.
They at first advertised 6, but then said that could be a 7th game. And but isn't it funny that we went to all 7 games?
And what's even more funny is we started to predict who was going to win. So I can't remember who won the first one in the 7. Was it the Jays?
It was the Dodgers.
Okay, the Dodgers, and
then the Jays.
Then the Jays.
Then the Dodgers.
Then the Dodgers.
Then the Jays.
Then the Jays. I mean, do we see a pattern in here? And with each win from each team, the more hype, the more tension built up, and to keep people watching, because they make money from merchandising. They make money in bars and restaurants for it. They make money selling the tickets. They make money selling the food in the concession stands, which is very expensive from what I hear. That it's money, money, money all through all of this. So it makes you wonder. So our theory was, and this is where the theory died. We figured on the 7th game, it would be the Blue Jays. They would win. Now, they haven't won a World Series game in 32 years. Okay? Was the Dodgers, when did they win? I don't know.
They won last year, too.
Did they?
Yeah.
With that. So,
And it came close.
Yeah.
Very close. Unusually close.
Yes. Unusually close. Now, let's also think about how much these players, the top of the players, get paid. Like, a lot of money. So money makes the world go round. I wouldn't be surprised that this is fixed to a certain degree.
I mean, I don't like, not fixed, but
it's set up so that the outcome is sort of known, but it's there to create more hype and energy and to get more people involved in it to spend more money with it all. I don't know. Now, those of you that follow baseball and are purists, you're going to say, nope, that doesn't happen.
We don't follow baseball.
We don't follow
we
it,
see it from a distance.
Yeah. So I don't know. It just seemed kind of suspicious.
But there are conspiracy theories if you look at, there are videos on YouTube on it and stuff like that too.
Well, there was one way back in the early 1900s or something. There was a big scandal in baseball at the time where it was sort of fixed or something. I don't know exactly. I kind of heard about that or read about it, but I can't remember the details of it all. So I don't know. I just think it's, and also I have a problem with the fact that these players get so much bloody money.
Yeah, but it's not just in baseball. It's in every
it's in all sports. I have a problem with all sports. The money that these players are being paid to play a game could be used to solve a lot of problems in the world, like world hunger or hunger rate in our own nations, in our own cities and stuff like that. I have a real problem with that. But I have a problem with a lot of sports that are at the professional level and all the money goes into it, like the Olympics, for example. Like, come on. You mean to tell me that people won't be able to enjoy watching a sporting game if the players aren't paid a high salary? You mean to tell me that you can't attract great players into this if you don't pay them millions of dollars for that? I mean, why are they worth millions of dollars? Really? What have they contributed to the world? They've given us some amusement, but that's all it is. It's a bloody game. It's not solving world hunger. It's not bringing about world peace in any shape, form at all. Oh, yeah, sure. Baseball teams donate time and money to certain charities, go visit the kids in the sick kids hospital, do this and that kind of stuff. But that's just for publicity. That's just good PR.
Scott says the World Series came from the trophy donated by a New York newspaper called The World. That's why it was called The World. So
that's interesting. I wonder
it changes the perspective.
It does. But how many people know that?
Yeah.
Except Scott.
So New York World in 1903 donated the trophy.
Okay, so it's named after a newspaper, but everybody takes it as being the world, right? So, but that is interesting to know. Another interesting fact, Dubrovka tells us that there's no Halloween for kids in Croatia. Yep. There isn't any Halloween in India either because, after Gandhi died,
there was no more Gandhi.
There was no more Gandhi to give out. No, it was not very good. And apparently chicken tikka masala does not go good in a bag.
Where's Russ?
Yeah. Yeah. Thimble Hook and Show. That's
that's Izar?
Izar, yes, it's Izar. Yeah, I wanted to say Inez, but it's not. It's Izar. It says, good day, everyone from sunny Las Vegas. No candy beggars this year. I gave candy to servers at the drive-thru and a group of random teenagers. They were ecstatic. Yeah, probably because they were high. Charlotte says, we had an Amazon delivery during trick-or-treating, so we gave the driver candy. Oh, okay. And Iser says, I always question the World Series. Wasn't Japan supposed to be included at one time? Maybe that's just the little league. Well, I know that baseball is kind of a big thing in Japan. And the Dodgers pitcher, he's Japanese.
Yeah, I think so.
And he's like a big star on their team. This is all I know about
we don't
this. We don't follow it. No, this is bits and pieces we picked up.
Actually, they put him in as a pitcher at the end of the game last night. So.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's supposed to be so basically he was the ringer.
Yeah.
To probably win it all. I don't know. Sweet Granny says, hello, Walter. And yes, Stephen. Okay, I'm an afterthought. Thank you for that. Kim is here. Gloria says, I was hoping the Blue Jays won. Yeah, we don't follow it, but I thought, in your face, Americans. But that didn't happen. Damn it. We get stomped on by your president, and by your Republican Party, and we're getting stomped on by your baseball team. Well, you know, we're not nice people. We will get you. Mark Carney speaks softly but carries a big stick. On the other hand, Doug Ford is just an asshole causing problems. But, you know, there you go. So anyways, yeah, our theory about it, you know, maybe being a little bit fixed, no, maybe is. I still
maybe
think,
all sports are like that, though.
I still think there's, well, they trade players at the end of all
I know.
these
It
things.
used to be when many years ago when baseball was, or any sport like hockey too.
Yeah.
You had a local hockey team. So all the people that played in the hockey team came from that locality. So like the Toronto Maple Leafs or the Leafs or whatever, we're all from Toronto. We're all Canadian players and that and stuff like that. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
They're all traded, and they're all traded to other teams, and
they come from all over the place. So in a way, they come from around the world, some of these players. So I guess maybe it is the World Series if you look at it from that point of view. Oh, Kim says it was a different pitcher at the end. It wasn't Ohtani. So
I thought Yamamoto or yeah, I thought,
I don't know.
I can't remember the name of the pitcher.
Like I said, we don't follow it, so
Yeah.
we just know what we hear from bits and pieces on stuff.
I thought it was the one that they considered was.
So Gloria says, I'm from the United States, you know. Yeah, a lot of people are from the United States. So what's your point? You know, what is your point, Gloria? If you come here, you know I'm going to stand up for Canadians. In fact, I'm going to show you something in a second and talk a little bit more about that. So, yeah. Barb says, most hockey players who play for U.S. teams are Canadians. I don't think that's true anymore.
I don't think that's true.
No, I don't think that's absolutely true.
I mean, yes, there's probably Canadians there, but there are a lot of people from other countries, not just Canada or the U.S.
I don't know. I don't know what the statistic would be on that. That would be interesting to know.
That would be interesting to look into.
I know at one point in time, that was probably very true, but I don't know if it's so true anymore with that. But that's something to. Oh, there it is. Pace says
Yamaguchi.
Yamaguchi. Okay. Oh, maybe was there another picture in there that was Ohtani or something, and then it was replaced by Yamaguchi?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what Kim meant.
Okay.
I don't know. We don't follow it. I have no idea about it. Of course, I was voting for the Blue JC, and that was my party. Oh, okay, Gloria. I see. Okay, you redeemed yourself there. Yeah. Actually, you know one thing that did piss me off, though, about Canadians? The ones who travel down to LA for the games. Yeah, I know. They're hardcore Blue Jay fans and they want to go down there. But at this point in history, going across the border is not such a good thing. It's like the same problem I have with people who are snowbirds. Sell it, stay in our country. I don't care if you've got property there. Sell it, stay in our country. But we're not going to go that way.
I think it was Yoshimoto that I was thinking of.
I don't know. It all sounds Japanese to me. Phyllis says there's a lot of Japanese players. Yeah, so I think baseball's popular in Japan too. So, yeah. Anyways, does it really matter? Jay's lost. It's over. Yeah. My sister will be crying. So, whatever. Dodgers have 3 Japanese players, Scott says.
Well, I looked it up and they've got a whole pile. It says they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, no, I'm looking at, okay, no, you're right, Dodgers.
That's how many the Dodgers have.
Yeah, no, these are Japanese players that play for different teams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good enough. And Barb says Yamagachi is a city. Where did you get Yamagachi from?
No, somebody posted it up here.
Oh, pasted.
Yeah.
So, who is...
Okay, the Dodgers is Hiroki Kuroda. This is the one that I thought, but it doesn't say. It says he
That's Yashimoto.
Yeah, but he's not for the Dodgers.
Okay, so
and Roki Sasaka, and then Otani.
okay, so
So yeah, I got it wrong. I don't know who
so
played.
Yamaguchi is not a player.
No, it's
Maybe
a
it is a
city.
city. Yeah, I guess. Oh, okay, it's all Japanese to me. Yeah. Scott says, let people do what they want to do. Too many people bossing others around during COVID. I have no idea what Scott's talking about. Do you? Let people do what they want to do. Too many people bossing others around during COVID. I have no idea what you're talking about, Scott. I love cryptic messages. Yeah. But anyways, okay, moving on. Pet peeves this week. Continuation from last week when we talked about our pet peeves. Today we want to focus on the grocery store. Because if any place for shopping pisses me off more than anything, it is a grocery store. And one of the biggest things that gets my goat are the people who leave their shopping cart in the middle of the aisle and go up the aisle 5 shopping carts further up to look at things and stare at it on the shelf. Well, you know, in the grocery stores around here anyways, their aisles, you can only get 1 cart down at a time. You can't have a cart coming this way, a cart going this way, and there's no room, whatever. And then you get somebody who leaves the cart in the middle.
Enough room.
Yeah. Oh, Scott says, I meant by your comment on Canadians traveling to USA. Oh, I can boss Canadians around, Scott. Yeah, I consider them traitors, and I'm serious about that. They are traitors, and I don't care what their excuse is for it. No. Don't get on my back about that. No, if I had my way, there'd be a big wall. Or as I like to say, there'd be a big dome over the United States, and we'd suck all the oxygen out. Yay. But, yeah, do you get my point, Scott? Okay? You may want to leave now because I'm not going to have my mind changed on that. So moving on. All right. So we were talking about that, leaving the cart in the middle of the aisle. And so you get there and now you're stuck because there's somebody behind you with a cart. And then there's somebody trying to come down the opposite way. It's gridlock in the grocery store. And I've stood there and I go, what am I going to do? The one behind me doesn't want to back up. The one in front of me is...
And if you try and push their cart out of the way, you get the evil eye.
Oh, yeah. You touched my cart. You're lucky I didn't hit you with mine. But,
Or the other thing is they stop in the middle of the aisle to look at a product and they're taking hours to look at it.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. They stand there and they stare. It's not going to magically become something else, and the price will stay the same. Okay? Like decisions here. And it's usually in front of something like that there's only one of. One type of something, and they're staring at it forever. And my favorite, leaving children unsupervised. Small children. The parent is standing there staring at stuff with their cart stuck in the middle of the aisle. And the kid, of course, has been jumping on the cart and riding around on the cart, hanging off it from the sides or whatever. They have a cage on the front of those carts to put the little ones in. You stick them in there, you put handcuffs on them to the bar, and then you don't have any problem. You know where they are all the time. Probably stuck in the middle of an aisle. In the cart. But they run up and down, and that's when you hear the big announcement, clean up on aisle 4, because somebody's little bugger grabs something at the on the shelf and oops. And then they run away, and it always happened that I'm the one standing there at the moment they do that. Suddenly the kid is gone. Everybody's looking at me like you just dropped that. It wasn't me. It was that kid over there. And the kid's got these big eyes, looking, and the mother's looking at you and giving you this evil look, or the father's looking at you giving this evil look, like, my little darling wouldn't do that. I have a solution. You may not agree with me on this, but occasionally, because my eyesight isn't that good and they're kind of short, my cart might actually bump into them, when they're there. Oops, I didn't see the little darling. Okay, maybe when I back over them again, maybe there's some suspicion that I meant to do it. But, it depends.
Pei said Shun Yamaguchi was the pitcher for the Blue Jays.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. And I'll tell you this. I don't care. It does not make any difference to me, whatever. So let's let it lie, shall we? Okay. Barb says, I was at Costco yesterday. Lots of carts parked in the lineups to pay, but the people are still shopping, have abandoned their cars, but holding their
I
spot
don't
line.
like that.
Oh, that's another thing. I hate that when they do it, their placeholder. Really?
Or they leave. I always feel bad because they sometimes leave the spouse with the cart, and they're looking around where their other half is.
Yeah.
And they haven't gotten there yet.
Or the worst is they're up at the conveyor belt. They've got half their stuff on it, and they go, "Oh, I forgot to get. I'll be right back. Sorry." And everybody's standing in line. The cashier is frozen because, okay, I've got this. I don't have anything else. I'm really tempted at times just to reach into their cart and start putting it on. Well, she's coming back eventually, so you might as well, go like that. But then they'd probably get really upset with you. You touched my stuff. Yeah. But, I mean, that's completely inconsiderate. And it's not a quickie move. Now, some of the ones that are a little smarter, they get up to the counter and go, "Oh, that's not the brand I wanted." And so the clerk will call somebody. Well, that can be even worse because, yeah, can you get such and such this thing? And they don't know where it is either. They're looking all over hell's half acre. And meanwhile, people are still coming into line. They're all looking.
Or they have a price check.
And here in Canada, we tend to be polite about it. We just stand there and look at them. Very rarely will you hear somebody say, well, of course, if they've got half of their stuff already gone through, what are you going to do?
That's why I like going in the self-serve checkout, because then there's at least 6 self-serve checkouts. So if one gets stuck, there's the other ones that can get
That's
through.
True. Zaza says, Barb, I don't mind if someone forgot something, but don't park in the queue while you're still shopping. Yeah, exactly. But you want to know something? Okay. So they pull the cart away out of the queue, kind of a thing, and they go off to get something. And then they come back and expect to get back into the queue there and not go to the end of it if there's a lineup. No, you lost your spot. Back of the line, baby. I know I'm nasty. Gloria says, I never took my son to the store when he was little. Probably a good thing, Gloria. But it's not so much that I mind them bringing their kid to the grocery store. Make your kid mind. They, first of all, just because it's also annoying, yes. But the other thing is, those little kids like to climb shelves. I've seen little kids, like 3-4-year-old, start climbing the shelves. And the parent is oblivious to this. If this kid fell or toppled over a display on top of them and they got hurt, well, you know what that parent would be doing. They'd be yelling at the store. It'd be all their fault and the whole bit. That's not right. I mean, grocery stores can be dangerous, especially if they happen to be standing in front of where I get my milk or whatever. And I hope those glass doors are heavy. And, well, I opened it really quick. I didn't see your little darling. Oh, I'm sorry. Here, I can pry them off there you go. Nice little darling. Yeah. And you know that I don't like children. Even less in a grocery store. Okay. Oh, here's a good one, too. We were talking about delays in the checkout line, right? With them finding something. No, the next kind that drives me nuts is the ones that have to tell the clerk. They don't know the clerk. They're just doing their job, checking stuff through, and they engage them in a conversation. And they're talking about, oh, yeah, we had the whole family over the other night for dinner, and I got this. Have you ever tried these? These are delicious. And what's worse is when the clerk buys into it and goes, I know, I was thinking about getting them, so how do you cook them? Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, check them out. I want to get out of here. Didn't bring a sleeping bag.
So I always like male checkout clerks because they don't usually
Yeah,
have
they don't engage in
conversation.
conversation. If they do, they're gay. But
um, yeah, that and or if you purchase an item and then the clerk centers you out and says, "Oh, I've never had that before. How's that? How do you cook that?" Or something like that, or what's that taste like? Or
it's a potato.
you know, I don't like people centering out. Oh, you take extra large condoms?
Oh, geez, I don't know. My husband uses the ones that are ribbed. I don't know. Do you like these? Yeah. I mean, okay, there's a line, right? It's okay if the clerk's being pleasant, okay, and she'll say, "Hi, how's your day going?" You go, "Oh, it's great." But that can be like they say that to me and I go, "Just fine, thanks." Moving on, moving on. But then you get other ones who just decide that that's an opening for a major rundown of her whole month. Got to tell you everything about that. Now, my biggest pet peeve is the express line. 8 items or 10 items or less. Okay, so the person in front of me has more than 8 items, but 3 of those items are green peppers. No, you cannot categorize 3 green peppers do not count as one of your items. It is 3 individual items. I don't care if they're all from the same species. Those are 3 items, which brings your total to 15. No, this is express.
Unless they're all in one bag and they're scanned ones.
That's one item, but it's loose ones. Or, oh, I'm in a bit of a rush. Do you mind? Yeah, I do. Pick them up and take them on to the other checkout. Do I ever say that? No, but I've been this close. And when I get a little bit older, I'll be even more crankier than I am now, and then I will say it. But I'm just waiting until the day comes when I need to use a cane on a regular basis, because I'm just going to use the hook of the cane and go, "Nope, don't think so, scoop it all off." Or hit them. Then I'll be up for assault. But yeah, I just hate that. Count, people, it says express 8 items or less. What part of that mathematical equation do you not get? You can't count? What is the problem? No, it looks like I've taken a hard fall.
Well, there you go.
No,
you got too excited.
I guess. Okay, general emergency SOS? No, go away. I'm okay. Provide some detail. I did not fall. Holy crap! Now my watch is talking back to me. Like 20 questions. What if I was having a heart attack? By the time I got through all of the questions, I'd be dead before it called. Modern technology, gotta hate it. What else did we have here? Oh, this one. Oh, I love this. Now, we've talked about the fact that here in Canada, very few people are using cash anymore, because everything is, you'd take your watch, you click it on, you tap with your card. But there are a few, ones who still believe in the world of cash, and they're there, and they've got, and I'm sorry, but it's usually they have a purse. So they've got the purse sitting beside them, and they're watching the stuff go through. It's adding up. You see it all up there. And at the end of it, the clerk says, "That'll be $55.95, please." And they look like, "Oh, I have to pay? Well, there's a shop. Oh, yeah. I'm in a grocery store. I just went through. I have to pay." So they get out the purse and they're looking for it. So they count out the money. "I have a nickel. I have a nickel. It's in the I know I have a nickel in here." And they root through the purse. And you're standing there waiting. There have been times when and I've actually done this. I said, "Look, I got a nickel. Here. It's on me." Just to get them through the damn line. And when they find that nickel anyways, there's going to be a dried up old cert stuck to it. So, there's always that. So why? People, have your money ready. It isn't rocket science here. You've got to pay for your groceries. It's just the way it's been done forever, kind of a thing. It's not a new thing. And And now I think this has stopped. But a few years ago, it was very popular. Stores were saying, they would match if you brought in the flyer from another store, and if you saw the same item in that flyer, they would match the price. So there they are with these sheets of paper out on the counter.
I think they stopped doing that here.
Well, guess why? You looked at the clerk going through it, and you could see the look on their face going, oh my God. And in some cases say, yeah, okay, fine. And then just give it to them at that price because they're holding up the line as they go through. And it's not usually one item, it's usually 5. And it's on different pages. And I know it's in here somewhere. I guess it's like the old days of when people used to clip coupons. Mm-hmm. And you'd have someone, I think I have a coupon for that kind of stuff. And then there's the manhandling of the produce. I know we want the freshest stuff. And I know there's different techniques for detecting if your green pepper is fresh or, thump your melon or whatever it is you have. You squeeze a tomato, if it goes in your hand, that was fresh. You put that back and get another one. But I don't want people touching my food. There's already enough people touching my food when they stock the shelves up with it. And the worst of all is during corn season, where they've got the corn, loose, all in a big box kind of a thing. And people are husking their corn in the grocery store. Or they're looking to see if it's what they want. So they rip down a strip to check the kernels in it. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't touch the corn that's had the husk removed partway on it. I don't know. Did you sneeze on it? What's that gooey thing running down the side of it? I mean, come on, people. Husk your damn corn at home. Grab it and take it home and husk it, for God's sakes. Yes, husking corn, get the little silks on things and that. Do it outside. It's summer. Like whatever. Get your kids to do it outside. It keeps them amused for hours with it. Okay, so I'm sure people are responding here. Gloria also says, Steve, one day I did take him to the pharmacy and he stopped to look at a toy and I accidentally left him in the store. He learned to keep up fast. What kind of mother are you? But that reminds me of when we were little kids. We'd go into the department store, my brother and I, with my mother, and we'd go over to the toy section and look at all the toys that were there. And my mother knew where we were. Well, it was a simpler time. Okay. Of course, now when I think about it, we were probably little buggers too, because we'd always go over to the escalator if there was an escalator, and I'd get my brother to push the button. He was 4 years younger than me. I'd be like 6, or no, I'd probably be about 8. He'd be about 4. And see that red button? You should push it. And then of course the people on the escalator just stand there and look really innocent. So I guess I was a little bugger too as a kid. My mother'd come over and go, "What are you doing here? You're supposed to be in the toys." Craig, push the button. Yeah, we got in a lot of trouble for doing that, but it was something. So we were little buggers too, I guess. And let's see. Denise says, I had to take my kids to the grocery store. I used to be yelled at by people when I would tell them to behave and sit down. Oh, really? I would have thought good mothering, good parenting on that one. Elizabeth says it's called stupidity. And Iser says, I use an electric cart. Blockage is a major problem. Get out of the way. Why does an entire family have to go shopping at one time? Granny is wandering and the kids are climbing the shelves. Actually, that is true. People in those motorized carts. Okay, I have a love-hate relationship with that. I mean, on the one hand, I realize, you need this. You have mobility issues. And the aisles in the grocery stores, at least the ones we shop in, are not very wide. And so, yeah, people tend to shop with the whole family at once, and I'm not talking bringing little kids. They're bringing teenagers and stuff like that. And they're all over the aisle. Everybody. So anybody in one of those motorized carts can't get through. On the other hand, I see some people using those motorized carts. They've walked into the store, they get one of those motorized carts, and they're just having a little joyride.
Or actually, I've seen it where the kid wants to ride in it and sucks the parent or whatever into taking the cart so he can ride in the cart.
Yeah.
Which is an abuse.
Is it? Yeah. And then you know darn well right, if that kid falls or something, and, clean up on aisle 4 again, that these people are going to be screaming at the store as if it's the store's fault.
It's like then somebody that actually needs one of those carts can't get it because some little kid's riding around in it with his parent.
Yeah. And Iser also says, I have a service dog. What spaceship do people arrive in that hasn't seen a dog before? The screaming is ridiculous. She's a husky, not a wolf. They scream at the dog. I kind of like seeing dogs in stores. Because, a service dog, is very well behaved. They, that kind of thing. So, yeah, but I don't think I've ever heard anybody scream at anybody that's had a service dog. Maybe they'd want to, but I've never been in witness to that, but not saying it doesn't happen. Scott says, for some strange reason, corn season had come and gone without me noticing. I missed out. Yeah, we didn't have any corn this year either.
Well, yeah, I saw it in the grocery store, but I didn't get any. And then I asked you one day when we were in the market if you wanted some, and you said
I said no. I don't like husking it. Unless I can husk it in the store. No. Gloria says, I did go back and get him, though. Oh, good, Gloria. Good to know. And then Scott says, when I was little, I was very good at pocketing dinky toys. Okay, Scott, you're a thief. You criminal, you.
Well, yeah, I've seen that in a store where a kid grabs a chocolate bar or something like that and sticks it in his pocket, and his mother goes out of the store and realizes he's taken something.
And that reminds me of another thing that pisses me off. People who open up food while they're shopping that they've taken from a shelf, like a bag of chips or a chocolate bar, and start eating it. And I always wonder, I want to follow them around and see, did they pay for that?
Actually, the other thing that annoys me is people that decide to stop at a coffee shop on their way to the grocery store and are walking around the grocery store drinking a coffee.
Yeah, clean up on aisle 4 again. Yeah. I mean, do you have to have a coffee? Well, they don't just do it they do that in other stores too. Yeah. I see people doing that. Why? You can't wait to finish your shopping and then grab a coffee or have a coffee before you come or something. I don't get it. Let's see. Glorious, I did send him. Oh, now I send him to the store for me. Okay, that works. Sue says, and then there's the people who have a family reunion in the baking aisle. Oh, yeah. Same ones who are blocking the aisle as you're going down, the whole parade of them. And the thing is, they're oblivious to you. You're standing there. There's no way around them. And I just get, Walter will freeze. I just say, excuse me. And if I have to, I will sort of push my way through. If they're not moving, then I will do that. In fact, that's what got me into trouble that time. If you remember the tale about piggies at the trough at a Costco. A bunch of people were standing there. They were standing around where the food samples are. Sorry, people, you didn't have lunch. What? You're coming here for fine dining? And there was no way I could get around them. And more people were backing up behind me. And I was very polite. And I'm sure they heard me because I said, oh, excuse me. Nothing. I said, excuse me, nothing. So I thought, oh, the hell with it. So I just pushed my way through, and then they kind of backed up. And that's when I made the infamous comment where I said, well, look at piggies at the trough. And that one woman came after me about, who are you calling him? Piggy at the trough. And I said, you cunt.
No, you didn't say that.
I didn't say that. Well, I told her to F off. I did say that because go away. I don't think she expected that reaction. Karen. Sorry to anybody on here that's Karen, and Karen is here, but she's not a Karen. Scott says, I never got caught, took a lot. Yes. Okay, Scott. So is that carried over into your adult life? Lots of toy cars gone from Woco. And what became of Woco? Oh,
yeah, Walmart bought them out.
Yeah, Walmart bought them out. Yeah. The good old days of Woco. Pace says, I saw someone stick their hand in a jar of Jiffy, eat it, and then put it back on the shelf.
Oh,
I followed them, asked them if they forgot their jar of Jiffy. Oh my God.
Well, they have this, usually the seal on top of the jar, so they would have had to open it.
Would have had, like,
I would have been not annoying the person after them that bought the jar thinking it was sealed still.
yeah. And you get home and you say, ooh, fingerprints in my Jiffy. I don't think so. Yeah. So anyways, there's something I want to show you in the last little bit here because, you know, talking about Americans at one point and everything. And there was a video that came out. I just have to get it up here so you can see it. It's a very short little video, but it is a reaction. It was on Stephen Colbert. It is funny. But I'm going to play it here for you.
President Trump announcing an additional 10% tariff on Canadian goods after a TV ad from Ontario used audio of Ronald Reagan criticizing tariffs.
And now a response from Canada.
Why tax our maple sap? Your pancakes will suck because log cabins crap. The Reagan ad seen on TV hurt the cankled majesty. From soft timber to our whiskey brands, nothing safe from his America, join Bublé and Celine. Come to the place where we still have vaccines. Your president's brain is mostly poutine.
Okay, I thought that was hilarious. However, on a second thought about it, I also found it somewhat insulting because there's some stereotypes in there. And you know, through all this difficult times we've been having between our two countries, there's an awful lot of stereotypes about Canadians going around. And we did a whole thing about that, so I'm not going to go over it again, but I'm just going to point out a few things in there that are kind of insulting to Canadians. First of all, you've got, what's on here in my notes? Yeah, maple syrup. Now, how can maple syrup be insulting? You might say. Well, yes, we have maple syrup, but I think a lot of Americans think that we eat it as a condiment, that we pour it on everything. No, it is not biscuits and gravy. Okay, if you want stereotypes. There you go. No, we don't. It is good, and it's better than anything you have down there. But
But you also make it as well because I think Vermont makes it.
Yeah, and that kind of thing. So, yeah. But that's kind of insulting. We eat more than maple syrup. And not everything is maple flavor if you come here to Canada. We only save the little maple leaf cookies that are maple flavored for the tourists who don't know any better. Or Tim Hortons occasionally does maple glazed donuts. But that's about it. Probably, if the truth be known, most Canadians don't eat that crap with it. Okay, another one. The lumberjack. Yes, we have a wood industry in Canada, a very thriving one. It was until tariffs, but all that kind of stuff. But, you know, we don't dress like lumberjacks. We don't carry an axe on our shoulder, that kind of thing. We have modern ways of doing tree foresting these days. They may use an axe occasionally, but they have these big things that pull them out of the ground practically. We're not that backwards. I don't know why the bear was there. It should have been a moose. I mean, you can't even get our iconic symbols right. Okay, Stephen Colbert. I mean, if you're going to put an animal on there that's iconic to Canada, put a moose or a beaver. The bear, everybody's got bears. Bears are indigenous to North America kind of a thing. The Mounties. The only time you see a Mountie dressed like what's in that video is when they're doing a special, like the Mountie musical ride, or they're in Ottawa kind of a thing as an honor guard or something like that, or for special occasions. But most of the time, the Mounties, it is a police force. They look like policemen with that. And, okay, they showed all the booze. And they showed what we call rye, which Americans, I think, tend to refer to it more as bourbon. And they are kind of different on that. But yes, Canadians have rye, and we have a large variety of them. One of our big ones is Crown Royal, that kind of thing. There's another one, too. It was on there, and I can't remember.
Canadian Club.
Oh, Canadian Club. Yeah, Canadian. It's in the name. Canadian Club. And then they picked two musical artists, Bublé and Celine Dion. Okay, well, Americans know Celine Dion because she had a residency in Las Vegas for the longest of time. And I don't know why anybody knows Bublé. But, yeah, I guess if you're into lounge music, Bublé's your man for that kind of stuff. But we have a lot of other musicians in Canada besides that. And then, of course, they have to end with poutine. Poutine is not a national food in Canada. Poutine is something, French fries with gravy on it. Then they added curd at it at some point. But I don't remember as a kid ever having poutine or ever hearing about poutine. And if anything, poutine is something that's more French Canadian. I'm not even sure how French Canadian it is.
They should have had butter tarts.
Butter tarts would have been better. Which reminds me, I have one that I bought when we were up to the quilt show in the fridge. But, you know, these are really stereotypical, and I get it. The joke was funny. The joke was more or less directed more at Americans and Trumpers than it was towards Canadians. But I just thought, oh, here we go again. The stereotypes of Canadians. We're so much more than Celine Dion, rye.
Actually, Celine Dion doesn't live in Canada anymore.
No, she lives in Switzerland, doesn't she?
Yeah,
Or
I don't know,
doesn't she lives someplace else? Yeah, she's not even here. She's a turncoat. Traitor again. So, I mean, I know there's lots of stereotypes that we could make of Americans too. Like they're rude and they're stupid. But I mean, like, it's not as funny. I guess, whatever. I know that was an insult. I know. So what are people saying here? Let's
Nothing.
see.
They're scared.
Yeah, probably. We're not backwards in coming forward, Elizabeth says. No, that's true. Poutine is Quebec and butter tarts are Ontario. No, they're not. Poutine is Quebec. Butter tarts are not exclusive to Ontario. They have them everywhere in Canada. Maybe their origins. Maybe if you mean the origins, maybe they were in Ontario, but I don't know. I have never met anybody in Ontario that says to me that, oh, our national food or our provincial food for Ontario are butter tarts with it. Everybody has butter tart. But butter tarts are very Canadian. There's no two ways about it. And I mean real butter tarts. The ones, you can't stick pecans in butter tarts. You can't stick chocolate chips in butter tarts. That's a different tart. You can put in raisins. Yes, I like them with raisins. But no. Be a purist to the butter tart. Yeah. What?
It is an Oliver.
Remember, Oliver is British.
Yeah, but that was...
Oh, that wasn't Oliver, though. This was Stephen Colbert.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't the other one. What's his name? John Oliver. John Oliver. That wasn't John Oliver. That was Stephen Colbert. That's the xenophobic crap. I love the American digs. Most of the maple syrup that I used was from New England, an area on the poop list now. Yeah. And Scott says he loves Canadian music like Rush and the Blue Rodeo. Yeah, you see, we have big ones out there too. We have a variety. Susan's here. Hi, Susan. Barb says butter tarts were original to Barrie, Ontario. Have to look that one up, Barb.
Yeah.
Look it up. Or just, oh, wait. Echo, where did butter tarts originate?
Butter tart is from Canada.
Echo, were butter tarts originally made in Barrie, Ontario?
From nationalpost.com. Generally consisting of butter, sugar, syrup and egg baked in a small pastry shell with a crunchy top. The butter tart first appeared in recipe form
Barrie,
in
Ontario.
1900 in Barrie, Ontario, in the Women's Auxiliary of the Royal Victoria Hospital Cookbook.
There you go. Learn something new every day. So thank you, Barb, for that. I didn't know that. Barb, do you study up on all this stuff? Trivia? You'd be good at Trivial Pursuit. Susan loves making butter tarts. And yeah. Okay, so we have learned several things today. 1, Canadians are much more than their stereotype. 2, butter tarts were invented in Barrie, Ontario in the early 1900s. So who says this show is not educational, if anything? All right, so I think that's it for us today, everybody. Thanks for joining us for this mismatch of all kinds of different things. And we'll see whatever. Oh, Barb says she Googled it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just thought you'd be good at Trivial Pursuit. But anyways, so, okay, everybody. So have a great weekend. And we'll see everyone next week, if not sooner. Bye.